Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start with a question. Have you ever met someone and felt something was just off? You couldn't explain it, but your instincts told you something wasn't right? Or maybe you met someone new and instantly felt like they could be trusted. The truth is, every person you meet is constantly revealing who they are, even before they open their mouths. The problem is, most of us don't know how to listen with our eyes. Today, I'm going to show you how to read people like an open book, even if you've never met them before. By the time we're done, you'll be able to walk into any room, any meeting, or any situation and immediately understand who you're dealing with. Because in life, success is not just about what you know, it's about who you understand. So, let's dive in. Kiwai bui logye ji speak slow UDR. Timoirs, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt the tension in the air? You didn't hear a word, but you knew something was off. Maybe someone had just finished an argument, or maybe the energy was thick with unspoken thoughts. But how did you know? Because before people say a single word, their body is already talking. Think about it. You meet someone for the first time. They say, "Nice to meet you." But their arms are crossed, their shoulders are stiff, and their smile is forced. What do you feel? You feel resistance. That's because the body never lies. Now, on the other hand, imagine meeting someone who extends their hand with a firm yet warm handshake. Their shoulders are relaxed and their posture is open. They don't just say, "Nice to meet you." They make you feel it. And in that moment, trust is built before a single meaningful conversation even begins. This is the power of body language. It speaks before the mouth does. And if you can learn to listen with your eyes, you'll unlock a hidden world of truth that most people never see. Have you ever seen someone in a room, sitting at the edge of their seat, leaning forward slightly? They're not just sitting. They're engaged. They want to be part of the conversation. They want to learn to listen, to connect. Now, contrast that with the person slouching back, arms crossed, looking around. They don't have to say, "I don't care." Their body is already screaming it. Successful people in business, relationships, leadership, and even everyday life are masters of body language. They don't just focus on what's being said. They focus on how it's being said. Let's take a powerful example from real life. Imagine a job interview. Two candidates walk in. The first one steps forward hesitantly, shoulders slightly hunched, avoiding direct eye contact, giving a weak handshake. The second one walks in confidently, shoulders back, head high, extends their hand firmly, and looks the interviewer in the eye with a steady gaze. Who do you think gets the job? It's not always about who has the better resume. It's about who exudes confidence. Because in this world, people don't just believe your words. They believe your presence. Now let's go deeper. Have you ever noticed how a person's feet reveal more than their mouth? You're talking to someone and they seem engaged, but their feet are subtly pointing towards the exit. What does that tell you? Their words say, "I'm listening." But their body says, "I want to leave." And you know what? Their body is telling the truth. Or let's talk about the classic sign of defensiveness, crossed arms. A person may say, "I'm open to hearing your opinion." But if their arms are locked tightly across their chest, their shoulders slightly raised, their body leaning away, you already know the truth. They are closed off. They are resisting. They are not truly listening. One of the most powerful skills you can develop in life is the ability to read these silent messages. Because when you understand people beyond their words, you make better decisions. You see the truth before it's spoken. Think about this. Have you ever met someone who makes you feel uneasy, but you don't know why? They haven't said anything wrong. They haven't done anything offensive. But something in their posture, their micro expressions, their energy makes you instinctively cautious. That's your subconscious picking up on verbal cues that your conscious mind hasn't yet processed. And let me tell you something. Never ignore that feeling. Great leaders, negotiators, and influencers don't just speak well, they observe well. They walk into a room and scan it like a detective, reading every movement, every facial twitch, every shift in posture. They know that the words coming out of someone's mouth are only a fraction of the truth. Imagine you're in a business deal. You present an offer, and the person across the table nods and says, "That sounds reasonable." But their mouth tightens slightly. Their fingers start tapping the table. Their breathing changes. Do you believe their words, or do you believe their body? If you trust only their words, you might shake hands on a deal that falls apart later. But if you trust what their body is telling you, you pause. You say, "Seems like you might have a concern. What's on your mind?" And just like that, you unlock the real conversation. This isn't just useful in business. It's life-saving in personal relationships. How many people have ignored the body language of someone they love and later said, "I should have known something was wrong"? Because the truth is, they did know. They just weren't paying attention. A friend says, "I'm fine," but their shoulders are heavy, their movements slow, their eyes distant. Are they really fine? No. But if you only listen to words and ignore body language, you miss the reality behind them. Understanding body language allows you to connect deeper, to avoid being misled, and to see the world with clearer eyes. So, I challenge you, starting today, stop just hearing people. Start watching them. Observe. Notice the way their body moves when they speak. Notice their hands, their posture, their breathing. Because once you learn to listen with your eyes, you will never be deceived by words again. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. And I tell you today, this is no metaphor. This is truth. The eyes expose what the mouth tries to hide. A person can smile, not and say all the right things, but their eyes will always betray them. If you want to know a person's real emotions, don't listen to their words. Study their eyes. Have you ever had a conversation with someone who was telling you one thing, but their eyes were saying something else? They said, "I'm happy for you," but their eyes didn't shine. They said, "I trust you," but their gaze flickered away for just a second too long. They said, "I'm listening," but their pupils were scanning the room, searching for an escape. Words are rehearsed, eyes are raw truth. Look at how a person maintains or avoids eye contact. A confident, honest person holds their gaze steadily, not in an intimidating way, but in a way that says, "I have nothing to hide." A liar, on the other hand, often struggles to maintain steady eye contact. Their eyes dart around, searching for a safe place to land, as if the truth might be lurking in the shadows. A guilty person will often blink rapidly when confronted with the truth, as if trying to shut it out. A nervous person may look away too quickly, breaking eye contact before they even speak. Then there are those who stare too hard, trying to compensate for their deception. They know that avoiding eye contact makes them look dishonest, so they overcorrect. They lock eyes with you, unblinking, unrelenting. It's not a natural gaze, it's forced, it's controlled, it's an act. Because real confidence doesn't need to force itself, it just is. Pay attention to when someone's pupils dilate. It happens when a person is truly engaged, interested, or emotionally moved. You tell someone exciting news and their pupils expand. That's real. You express a deep truth and their eyes widen slightly. That's genuine connection. But if you share something important and their eyes remain dull and unchanged, take note. There is no real emotion behind their words. They might say, "That's amazing," but their eyes reveal indifference. Think about this. Have you ever confronted someone who was lying and they couldn't meet your eyes? You asked a direct question and suddenly they looked down, looked away, blinked too much, or pretended to be distracted. Why? Because the eyes don't just reveal truth. They struggle to carry the weight of deception. And then there's something even deeper. Pain. Hidden pain is always in the eyes. You've met people who said, "I'm okay," with a smile, but their eyes look tired, distant, heavy. You've seen people laugh, but their eyes stayed motionless. No sparkle, no real joy. That's because real emotions don't just sit on the face. They sit behind the eyes. Think about actors. Why are some performances so powerful? Because the best actors don't just cry or smile. They carry the emotion in their eyes. They don't just act, they feel. And when they feel, we feel it too. Because the eyes are the bridge between what is spoken and what is truly meant. Now, here's something you need to understand. Just as you can read others, others can read you. If your eyes lack conviction, people will sense it. If you say, "I believe in myself," but your eyes show hesitation, people won't buy into your words. If you tell someone, "I care about you," but your eyes lack warmth, they will feel the emptiness of your statement. Great leaders, great communicators, great influencers. What makes them powerful is not just what they say, but how their eyes carry their message. Watch any legendary speaker. They don't just deliver words. They pierce the audience with their gaze. They connect, they engage, they lock eyes with people and make them feel something. Because the eyes don't just reveal truth, they transmit it. So I challenge you today, watch people's eyes. Don't just listen, observe. Don't just accept words, verify them. Because when you learn to read the eyes, you will never be deceived by words again. Have you ever been in a conversation where someone said all the right words, yet something felt off? They said, "I'm happy to see you," but you didn't feel warmth. They said, "I'm fine," but something in their voice made you doubt it. That's because words can lie, but tone never does. The human voice is an instrument, and every note it plays carries a message beyond just words. If you learn to listen beyond what is spoken, you will hear truth that most people miss. Think about this. Someone tells you, "I'm not angry," but their voice is tight, clipped, and their breath is sharp. Are they really calm? Of course not. They might be saying one thing, but their tone betrays their real emotions. You hear the irritation under the surface, the tension woven into their words. You hear the impatience, the unspoken frustration, and in that moment, you realize the truth is not in the words, it's in the way they are spoken. Now imagine another situation. You ask someone, "Are you okay?" And they reply, "Yeah, I'm fine." But their voice is lower than usual. Their words come out slower. The energy is missing. The weight of their emotions drags each syllable down. Do you believe them? No. Because even though they say they're fine, their tone whispers the truth. Something is wrong. Tone carries emotion before the mind can filter it. A person can rehearse a lie, but they cannot control the tiny shifts in their voice that reveal what they truly feel. Have you ever spoken to someone on the phone and immediately sensed something was wrong? You couldn't see them. You couldn't read their body language, but something in their voice told you that they were upset, worried, or sad. That's the power of tone. It speaks louder than the words themselves. And then there's excitement. Have you ever heard someone talk about something they love? Their voice lifts. Their words come faster. Their breath gets shorter because their energy is surging. You don't even have to understand what they're talking about. You just feel their passion through the way they speak. That's why enthusiasm is contagious. People don't just listen to your words, they absorb the energy in your voice. Now let's flip the script. Have you ever spoken to someone whose voice was completely flat? No rise, no fall, no warmth, no emotion. They said, "Nice to meet you." But it sounded like a robot reading a script. Did you feel connected to them? Did you feel sincerity? No, because tone is the gateway to trust. When someone speaks without feeling, you don't just hear the emptiness, you feel it. Think about great leaders, Great speakers, great storytellers. Why do people listen to them? It's not just because of the words they say. It's because of how they say them. They know how to use tone to draw people in, to make them feel, to hold their attention. A great speaker doesn't just deliver information, they deliver emotion. They know when to pause, when to lower their voice to pull the audience in, and when to raise it to drive a point home. That's not an accident. That's mastery. Even in everyday life, tone shapes how we perceive people. Imagine you're in a restaurant and the waiter comes to your table. You ask for a glass of water and they respond with sure. But the way they say it, dull, uninterested, mechanical, immediately tells you that they don't really care. Now imagine another waiter who responds with a warm, cheerful. Of course, same words, completely different experience. Why? Because tone adds color to words. It turns cold statements into warm connections. This is why the way you say something can be more important than what you say. You can apologize to someone and say all the right words, but if your tone is insincere, they won't believe you. You can give someone a compliment, but if your voice lacks warmth, they will doubt it. You can say, "I love you." But if your tone is distant, the words lose their power. The most successful people in life, whether in business, relationships, or leadership, understand that communication is not just about words. It's about energy. It's about emotion. It's about how you make people feel when you speak. They know that a confident tone commands respect. A gentle tone builds trust. A passionate tone inspires action. And a cold tone pushes people away. If you want to influence people, if you want to be truly heard, if you want to connect on a deeper level, start paying attention to tone. Not just in others, but in yourself. How do you sound when you speak? Does your voice reflect confidence or hesitation? Do you sound engaged or uninterested? Do you inspire or do you drain? Because people don't just hear your words, they hear your energy. And your energy, more than anything, determines how they respond to you. Kwa 40. You've been in a conversation where everything seems fine. Words are flowing, smiles are exchanged. And yet, something doesn't feel right. You can't explain it. But deep down, you know the other person is not fully present. They might be nodding, agreeing, even laughing at the right moments, but something in you senses they are not truly engaged. And you're right. Because the secret to knowing where someone really wants to be is not in their words, not in their eyes, not even in their facial expressions. It's in their feet. The feet never lie. Unlike the face, which can be trained to smile, and the voice, which can be controlled, the feet are honest. They are the compass of the body, always pointing toward what the heart truly desires. If you are talking to someone and their feet are pointing toward the exit, even if they seem engaged in conversation, their subconscious mind is already leaving. Their body is preparing to go before their words ever admit it. Imagine this. You're at a party, deep in conversation with someone who appears interested. They're making eye contact, nodding, engaging with what you say. But then you glance down and you notice one foot is angled away, pointing toward the door. What does that tell you? It tells you their mind is already thinking about leaving, even if their words don't show it yet. They are physically torn between staying and going, and their feet are revealing the truth before their mouth does. Now picture a business negotiation. You're pitching an idea to a potential client. They're smiling, listening intently, even asking questions, but their feet are pointed away from you toward another direction. That's a red flag. It means that, despite their polite engagement, their mind is elsewhere. They are not fully committed to this conversation, and they may already be thinking about rejecting your proposal. A wise negotiator knows to watch for this sign and pivot the discussion before it's too late. Think about when two people are standing together in a group. If their feet are directly facing each other, that means they are fully engaged. But if one person has their feet slightly turned away, they are mentally preparing to exit the conversation. It's a silent signal, a subconscious indicator that they are ready to move on. Have you ever been in a situation where someone was talking to you, but you felt like they weren't really present? Maybe a friend, a coworker, or even a loved one. You couldn't quite put your finger on it, but you sensed that their attention was divided. Next time this happens, don't just listen to their words. Look at their feet. If they are pointed toward you, they are engaged. If they are angled away, they are mentally somewhere else. This is why in moments of deep connection, whether romantic, friendly, or professional, people naturally align their feet toward each other. When two people are truly in sync, their entire bodies reflected. Shoulders squarely facing, knees angled toward each other, feet firmly planted in the direction of the person they are speaking to. Now think about the opposite. Have you ever noticed when someone is uncomfortable in a situation? Their words might be polite, but their feet are subtly shifting, edging toward the nearest exit. They might even keep adjusting their stance, as if their body is itching to leave. They may not say it outright, but their feet are practically shouting, "I don't want to be here." Even in relationships, this small detail speaks volumes. Picture two people sitting together at a cafe. They're engaged in conversation, but one person's legs are crossed away from the other. It's a signal of emotional distance. Contrast that with another couple, sitting close, feet naturally angled toward each other, knees almost touching. That's real connection. The feet reveal where the heart wants to be. If you ever want to test someone's true intentions, subtly adjust your own body language. Shift your feet toward them and see if they do the same. If they mirror you, even unconsciously, it's a sign of engagement. If they keep their feet pointing away, their body is revealing hesitation. This small, often overlooked detail can change the way you see people forever. You will no longer be deceived by words alone. You will no longer misinterpret politeness for genuine interest. You will no longer question whether someone is truly invested in a conversation. You will know, because their feet will tell you. Every great communicator, negotiator, leader, and observer of human behavior understands this silent language. They know that when they walk into a room, they don't just listen with their ears or watch with their eyes. They read the body like a book. They see the direction of the feet, the angle of the stance, the subconscious pull toward or away from a conversation. Master this, and you will never again have to wonder what someone is truly feeling. You will see their truth before they ever speak it. Because in the end, the feet are not just an anchor for the body. They are the roadmap to a person's true intentions. KY Fisti. Laisti, ots. If you truly want to understand someone without them even realizing it, listen carefully to how they speak about others. Because how a person talks about someone who is not in the room reveals more about their character than anything they say about themselves. Words are not just a means of communication. They are a reflection of the soul. People may try to control what they say about themselves, but they rarely filter how they talk about others. And that is where the truth is found. Think about it. When someone constantly speaks negatively about others, criticizing, mocking, and tearing people down behind their backs, what does that tell you? It tells you that this is not a person who uplifts. This is someone who thrives on negativity. This is someone who finds pleasure in pointing out faults rather than strengths. And here's the real warning. If they talk this way about others to you, what do you think they say about you when you're not around? You've seen it before. A person smiles in someone's face, acting friendly, only to turn around and spread rumors the moment they leave. This is a person who cannot be trusted. Their words might be pleasant when speaking directly to you, but their nature is revealed when they think you're not watching. The truth is, A person who gossips to you will gossip about you. A person who betrays others in conversation will betray you in action. Now let's look at the opposite. Have you ever met someone who, no matter what, always finds something positive to say about others? Someone who, instead of criticizing, uplifts. Who, instead of mocking weaknesses, acknowledges strengths. This is a person of character. A person whose words bring life rather than destruction. When you meet someone like this, take note. This is someone worth keeping close. Because just as negative people will eventually turn their negativity towards you, uplifting people will lift you up as well. Pay attention to the way people describe their friends, their coworkers, their family members. Do they speak with appreciation, or do they constantly complain? Do they highlight the good, or do they focus only on the flaws? Because a person who sees only the worst in others has trained their mind to find faults. And someone who is always looking for faults in others will eventually find faults in you. There is something powerful about people who refuse to speak badly about others. It shows discipline. It shows wisdom. It shows self-control. It is easy to gossip. It is easy to tear people down. But it takes strength to hold back, to protect others even when they are not present. And the truth is, the way a person speaks about others is the way they see the world. If they constantly talk about how terrible, dishonest, and unreliable people are, it's not necessarily a reflection of the world, it's a reflection of them. Have you ever met someone who says, "You can't trust anyone, everyone is fake," or "People are just selfish"? These are not objective truths. These are projections. This is their reality, not because it's true for everyone, but because this is how they operate. A liar thinks everyone lies. A cheater thinks everyone cheats. A manipulator assumes everyone is manipulating them, because the way they see the world is shaped by the way they live. On the other hand, a person who sees good in others has good within themselves. They say, "Most people are kind. There's always something to appreciate in others. I trust that people mean well." This is not naivety. This is a reflection of their own integrity. Because they walk with honesty, they believe others do too. Because they operate with kindness, they recognize kindness in others. Think about this in business. Have you ever worked with someone who constantly badmouths their colleagues? They complain about the boss, insult their coworkers, criticize their clients. What does that say about them? It says that this is not someone who takes responsibility. This is someone who blames others for everything. And if you ever do business with them, don't be surprised when one day you become the next person they badmouth. In relationships, this is even more revealing. If someone is always talking negatively about their past relationships, calling all their exes crazy, blaming everyone else for what went wrong, take a step back. Because when someone never sees their own faults, when they always paint themselves as the victim, it means they lack self-awareness. And sooner or later, that same blame will be placed on you. Now, let's take this to an even deeper level. How does this person talk about strangers? When they see someone struggling, do they mock them? Or do they show empathy? When they hear about someone's success, do they celebrate? Or do they criticize? Because how a person talks about those they don't even know tells you who they really are when there's nothing to gain or lose. This is why you must be careful who you allow into your life. Because words are powerful. The people around you influence you more than you realize. If you constantly surround yourself with people who complain, gossip, and tear others down, soon you will find yourself doing the same. But if you surround yourself with people who uplift, who find the good, who speak with wisdom and encouragement, your mindset will shift. Your perspective will elevate. If you want to know who someone truly is, listen. Not to how they describe themselves, but to how they describe others. Because the words they choose, the energy they bring, the way they speak about the world, that is who they are. And once you see this truth, you will never be fooled by appearances again. KY6. Ina Joadoes and LAE. You have walked into a room before and felt it instantly. Without anyone speaking, without a single word exchanged, you knew something was off. You could feel the tension in the air, the heaviness of unspoken words, the weight of emotions that no one dared to express. That is because energy never lies. Words can be manipulated, smiles can be faked, gestures can be rehearsed, but energy is pure truth. It is raw, unfiltered, and undeniable. You don't have to see it, you don't have to hear it. You feel it. Have you ever met someone who seemed perfectly nice, who said all the right things, but something inside you kept warning you? Something felt unnatural. Maybe it was the way they laughed a little too loudly, the way they complimented you just a little too much, the way their presence drained rather than uplifted you. And later, you found out your instincts were right. They weren't who they appeared to be. Because no matter how hard someone tries to present themselves a certain way, their energy will always betray them. Think about the moments when you have walked into a space filled with joy, passion, and enthusiasm. Maybe it was a concert where the crowd's excitement was electric. Maybe it was a friend's home where love and laughter filled every corner. Maybe it was a gathering of people who truly cared for each other. You didn't need to be told that this was a place of warmth. You felt it. Because positive energy is infectious. It lifts, it empowers, it breathes life into everything around it. Now, think about the opposite. Have you ever walked into a place where the atmosphere felt heavy, even suffocating? Maybe it was a workplace where employees were exhausted, where people moved like shadows, where everyone just got through the day instead of living it. Maybe it was a home where conflict lingered in the air, where silence carried more weight than words. No one had to tell you that something was wrong. The energy spoke louder than words ever could. This is why you must trust the energy of people more than their words. Because someone can tell you they support you, but if their energy doesn't align with their words, pay attention. Someone can smile at you while secretly envying you. Someone can say, "I love you," while their energy screams resentment. Someone can offer their help while their energy warns you that they do not truly wish to see you succeed. Have you ever been around someone who, without saying a word, made you feel safe? You didn't need to explain yourself. You didn't need to impress them. Their presence alone gave you peace. That is the power of pure energy. When someone's energy is authentic, you feel it before you even understand why. On the other hand, have you ever been around someone who, no matter how much they smiled, made you feel uneasy? They might not have said or done anything wrong, but something in you resisted trusting them. That is your intuition picking up on energy signals that your conscious mind hasn't processed yet. And here's the truth: that feeling is never wrong. Look at leaders, visionaries, world changers. The most influential people in history did not need to scream to be heard. They didn't need to demand attention. Their energy commanded it. Their presence was enough to shift the atmosphere in a room. When they spoke, people listened, not just to the words, but to the power behind them. Because when your energy is aligned with your truth, people don't just hear you, they feel you. Energy determines how people perceive you before you even speak. Have you ever met someone who instantly made you feel respected and valued? It wasn't just their posture, their voice, or their words. It was their energy. They carried themselves with certainty. They exuded confidence, not arrogance. They didn't just walk into a room. They owned their presence. That is the kind of energy that transforms lives. But energy is not just something you observe in others. It is something you cultivate within yourself. You must become aware of the energy you bring into every space you enter. Do you uplift others, or do you drain them? Do people feel safe in your presence, or do they feel judged? Do you radiate enthusiasm and passion, Or do you carry the weight of negativity? Your energy speaks before your words do. Your presence is felt before you are introduced. You don't need to tell people who you are. They can feel it. This is why some people walk into a room and instantly attract admiration, respect, and attention, while others, no matter how loud they are, go unnoticed. If you want to elevate your life, start by elevating your energy. Be mindful of the thoughts you carry, the emotions you feed, the people you surround yourself with. Energy is contagious. Spend enough time around negativity and you will absorb it. Surround yourself with passion, with purpose, with people who live boldly, and your energy will shift. Master your energy, and you will master how the world responds to you. Because in the end, energy doesn't lie. It never wills. K70 calls hissy, or VL's TRNA. Your people can pretend for a day. They can put on an act for a week. They can even fool you for a month. But no one can fake who they are forever. Time exposes all things, because consistency reveals true nature. A person's real character is not found in what they do once, but in what they do repeatedly. Watch a person long enough, and they will show you who they really are. Think about the sun. It doesn't rise some days and forget to rise on others. It doesn't change its direction or hesitate in its purpose. It is consistent. And because it is consistent, we trust it. We don't wake up wondering, will the sun rise today? Because it always does. Now, think about people in your life. Who shows up for you consistently? Who supports you not just when it's convenient, but even when it's difficult? Who keeps their word not just when things are easy, but when things are tough? Because that is the measure of real character. Anyone can be kind for a moment. Anyone can be loyal when it benefits them. Anyone can act like they care when the situation suits them. But watch what they do over time. Do they show up when no one is watching? Do they keep their promises even when no one is holding them accountable? Do they maintain the same energy when they have nothing to gain? That is where the truth lies. You've seen it before. The person who is generous in public but selfish in private. The person who speaks of integrity but bends the rules when it suits them. The friend who is there when times are good but disappears when the storm hits. And then there are those rare people whose actions match their words, not just once, but over and over again. The ones who are steady, who are reliable, who don't just say, I'll be there, but prove it time after time. These are the people you can trust. These are the people who build legacies. Think about a professional athlete. Do they become great by practicing only when they feel like it? No, they are consistent. Every day they push their limits. Every day they sharpen their skills. Even when they are tired. Even when they don't want to. Even when no one is watching. Because they know that success is not built on moments of effort. It is built on a lifestyle of discipline. Look at successful businesses. The ones that stand the test of time are not the ones that deliver great service once and then decline. They are the ones that consistently deliver value. The ones that don't just make one good product, but maintain excellence for years. The ones that don't just treat customers well for a few months and then slack off. Success follows those who are reliable, those who show up, those who never lower their standard. Think about relationships. The foundation of trust is not built in a single grand gesture, but in the small, consistent actions that happen every day. A partner who is loving one day and distant the next creates insecurity. A friend who is supportive when it's convenient, but absent when it's difficult is not a real friend. Trust is built when someone's behavior is stable, predictable, and unwavering. Consistency is the reason some people become unforgettable. Have you ever had a teacher who changed your life? A mentor who inspired you? A leader who made a lasting impact? It wasn't because of one speech they gave or one lesson they taught. It was because they showed up day after day with the same passion, the same dedication, the same commitment. It was because you could rely on them because you knew exactly what to expect. Now, look at yourself. What do you do consistently? Because that is what defines you. If you only work hard when you feel like it, you are not disciplined. If you are kind only when life is going well, you are not truly kind. If you only commit when it's convenient, you are not truly committed. Your habits, your repeated actions, your patterns, these are what determine who you are. The truth is, consistency is not easy. It requires discipline when you're tired. It demands effort when you don't feel like it. It asks you to keep going when no one is clapping for you, when no one is watching, when there is no immediate reward. But that is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who settle for mediocrity. A person's real nature is revealed over time. That is why you must pay attention. Stop listening to what people say once and start watching what they do over and over again. If someone is kind today, but cruel tomorrow, don't focus on their moments of kindness. Focus on their pattern of inconsistency. If someone promises change but repeats the same mistakes, don't believe their words. Believe their repeated actions. Time reveals all things. Time exposes deception. Time removes illusions. Because the truth of who we are is not in what we do occasionally. It is in what we do consistently. My friends, the ability to read people is not a talent. It's a skill, and skills can be learned. The more you observe, the more you understand. The more you understand, the better decisions you will make. In business, relationships, leadership, and life, your success depends on your ability to understand people. So, I leave you with this challenge that I started today. Don't just hear, observe. Don't just listen, feel. Because when you learn to read people without knowing them, you gain the greatest power of all, the power of wisdom. The world belongs to those who master the art of observation. Not just with their eyes, but with their mind, their intuition, and their wisdom. The greatest mistake people make is trusting too quickly, believing words over patterns, mistaking moments for character. But the ones who succeed, the ones who rise, the ones who never fall into the traps of deception, they are the ones who watch, who listen, who decode the truth that hides beneath the surface. Because life is not about what people say. It is about what they do when no one is watching. It is about how they treat the ones they do not need. It is about how they respond when things are no longer in their favor. You don't need someone to tell you who they are. If you are paying attention, they will show you. You will meet people who will try to sell you an illusion. They will smile in your face while their heart harbors jealousy. They will offer you friendship while secretly hoping you fail. They will speak of love but act with selfishness. But listen carefully, because words lie, but energy does not. Patterns do not. Actions do not. Greatness does not come from trusting blindly. Greatness comes from understanding deeply, from seeing beyond the surface, from knowing that people reveal themselves in the smallest ways. In the way they talk to a waiter, in the way they treat someone who cannot help them, in the way they react when things don't go their way. If you want to know a person's heart, watch what they do when they have nothing to gain. That is where truth lies. It is easy to pretend when life is good, when things are smooth, when there is applause and recognition. But character is built in the shadows, in the silence, in the moments when no one is looking. And the ones who build themselves in discipline, in consistency, in honesty, those are the ones who do not shake when the storm comes. Those are the ones who stand firm when others fall. History has shown us that the greatest minds, the strongest leaders, the most powerful forces in the world were never fooled by illusions. They did not believe in the mask people wore. They saw deeper. They knew that the loudest person in the room is often the weakest. That the one who boasts the most is often the most insecure. That the one who claims to be loyal must be tested, not just trusted. Because time reveals all things. And those who do not learn to read people will always be at the mercy of those who do. A wise person once said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Not when they tell you, not when they make promises, not when they perform for the crowd, but when they show you. Because people may try to manipulate words, but they cannot manipulate patterns. Patterns never lie. Energy never lies. The world will try to deceive you with distractions. It will try to make you believe in appearances. It will try to convince you that charisma is the same as character, that words are the same as worth, that a polished image is the same as a pure soul. But those who rise above, those who lead, those who dominate their space, they do not fall for the illusion. They master the art of perception. The greatest power you will ever have is the ability to see clearly, to know who to trust, to know who to distance yourself from, to know who deserves your loyalty and who only seeks to use you. Because the wrong people in your life can destroy everything you have built. But the right ones, they will elevate you. They will sharpen you. They will stand with you when the world turns its back. The difference between those who win and those who lose is simply the winners know how to read the game. They know when to step forward and when to step back. They know when to trust and when to walk away. They know that people reveal themselves in ways they don't even realize. And the ones who watch, who listen, who understand, they hold the power. So never forget, people's words may be loud, but their patterns are louder. Their energy is louder. Their actions are louder. The truth is always in front of you. All you have to do is learn to see it. Thank you.